to say from my heart, as a father of a United States Marine myself, I understand. I understand and appreciate the attention being paid to Captain Khan's family. What I don't understand is why the media maligned and continues to ignore the grieving mother of fallen Air Force veteran and diplomat Sean Smith, who fell in Benghazi.
It's Governor Mike Pence on the stump asking why there hasn't been more coverage of Pat Smith, the mother of Sean Smith, who was killed in the attacks in Benghazi. Smith gave an emotional speech at the convention in Cleveland, saying that Clinton lied to her about what's got her son killed. Clinton says Smith may not fully recall what was said or was not said. Former Navy SEAL Tyrone Woods also gave his life defending the outpost in Benghazi, and his father is Charles Woods. He's with me now. Sir, we have not spoken since the convention, so thank you for your time today, and I got a couple things I want to run by you here. Good morning to you, by the way, and thanks again.
Yes, good morning, Bill.
Do you think there has been a double standard in the coverage of these two stories?
Well, I really don't know too much about the TV coverage. I think the last time I watched TV was either Monday or Tuesday night. I've been camping with my daughter and took her to a rodeo, so I'm really not too up to speed on that.
Well, you're making a lot
vaguely
of people
aware.
A lot of people envious the fact that you're from all the news of the day. But if you are vaguely aware, the suggestion is that what happened at the Democratic convention received an outsized portion of coverage than what Pat Smith and her message was in Benghazi. I guess maybe just in a general sense.
Okay.
Do you believe the victims of Benghazi, your son, in fact, have been overlooked or not, sir?
Well, I think that what you need to look at is the fact that Khan was a brave American who gave his life. He was patriotic, but he also happened to be a moderate Muslim. And what you need to realize is ISIS and the other terrorist groups, they don't only kill Christians and Jews and gays, they also kill moderate Muslims who do not agree with their stance on radical jihad and their interpretation of Sharia law. And in that respect, he's like any other American. And what we have to take into account is that when the elections occur next November, Muslims, moderate Muslim American citizens, have the same concerns about national security that the rest of us Americans do. And they're going to have to make up their mind as to what candidate is going to protect national security themselves, Muslim Americans who are moderate, as well as all other Americans. Which candidate is going to do the best job?
I heard you say this is the most important question facing voters in November. Explain.
Well, I agree. I would say that national security, along with economic security, are the two most important issues that need to be decided at November's election.
This is what Hillary Clinton told Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday. If you did not hear it, I want you to listen closely, and I'll get you to react next.
As other members of families who lost loved ones have said, that's not what they heard. I don't hold any ill feeling for someone who, in that moment, may not fully recall everything that was or wasn't said.
That last part, sir, may not fully recall everything that was or was not said. What do you think of that?
Well, there are two options. One is either Mrs. Clinton is lying, or else she has a bad memory because of her age or her head injury that she suffered. As far as memory, I keep this little book, and I've shown this to the public many times. I jokingly say I keep my brains in my pocket, and I write down the important things that happen each day. And I've been doing this for many years. And what I have written down here, this is verbatim, that was written down soon after she spoke it. And here it is. I gave Hillary a hug and shook her hand, and she said, "We are going to have the filmmaker arrested who was responsible for the death of my son." Now that has nothing to do with my memory. This is just a contemporaneous writing.
What day was that, sir? Was that on the Saturday? at the memorial service? What
no,
was that?
actually, I have a whole page, and it was written down. Basically, the pages were full. It's written down on the Saturday. It doesn't necessarily mean it was on Saturday. It's just that the page was full.
But what Secretary Clinton said with Chris Wallace is that you have to look at everything she said.
Okay,
Is that fair?
Yes, and I think that you should look at everything she said. She made this statement not only to me, but to other family members. Also, a half hour after this happened, when they had the casket ceremony, she also lied to the American public because she said, and these are her words as best as I can recall, rage was directed at American embassies as a result of that awful video that we were not responsible for. So she said basically the same thing in private to the families that were grieving, and then a half hour later, she said basically the same thing as far as causation to the American public.
Just to be clear on this, that you believe when she spoke to you that the reason your son died was because of a video. That's what you're saying to this day, correct?
That's what was written down immediately afterwards. That is my recollection as well as what was written down. And like I say, it was confirmed by what was said to other family members as well as what was said on TV at the casket ceremony. She stood in front of my son's casket and blamed the rage directed at American embassies upon the video that she said we had no part of.
Charles Woods, thank you for your time out of Portland, Oregon.